Hey, and welcome to another episode of Geek Bytes podcast. This is episode 67 of the podcast. I'm Ramon Mejia.
I'm Edgardo Costa.
And today is June the 9th, 2016. And every single podcast, we bring you the roundup of the week's best geek and tech news. And we talk about that news and, of course, anything else we're interested in that week.
In Geek News this week, we'll talk about Samsung's bendable screens, Facebook versus Twitch, Final Fantasy XII HD, Sega's VR Arcade, early impressions of Suicide Squad, trailers of the week, and much, much more.
Absolutely. And in our discussion section, we're going to be talking about all the wonderful E3 trailers and rumors. E3's happening this weekend, so we're going to talk about that stuff happening soon.
Before we begin, though, no, it's not a sad note. It's a good note.
It's a good note.
Yeah, usually say it's, somebody died. Which
no one died.
A lot of people have died this year. It's kind of sad. Very sad. Anyway, we want to give a shout out to our friend of the show, Marcos Bravo, and his podcast, Stop Being Marks. The podcast where a couple of guys named Mark shoot the shit out of wrestling, music, and whatever else is crawling around in their freaky minds. Listen to their podcast on SoundCloud and follow them on Twitter and Instagram at Stop Being Marks.
Absolutely. And we're going to begin our show, though, with Geek News. And there's the Geek News music. Always slightly delayed, folks.
Mason, if you got the Xbox, it's on there.
You do. For those of you who don't know, we also have folks in our live streaming audience who are chatting with us as we're speaking. Yeah. And Mason asked, what is Twitch? Twitch is a live game streaming service. So people play video games, they record themselves playing video games, and they can actually make money off of doing it. But it's most like fan service for video games and entertaining people doing entertaining things while playing video games.
It works for some.
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk some tech, and then we'll get to the fun stuff, even though this is fun as well. Samsung. Bendable screens. Bloomberg reports its sources say Samsung is considering introducing two new smartphone models with bendable OLED screens. One model will fold in half like a cosmetic compact, and the others would have a 5-inch screen that could unfurl into display as large as 8 inches.
Yep, this is actually really cool technology. Samsung has been touting this kind of tech for a few years now. I think they first talked about it in 2014, so it's been a couple years. Hopefully this year, they're actually going to give us something to actually see and play with. And I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, they actually show it at E3.
There's been a couple varieties of the foldable screen that I've seen. Of course, there's one that literally rolls out like a scroll. There's one that rolls out like a different kind of scroll, which it gives you the wide, kind of like the 16 by 9 kind of theatrical viewing of it. But it always you ever dealt with like semi saran wrap or any kind of plastic coating something, when you bend it in you start getting the little plastic
there's one that's going to be more like a book where you can fold it back and forth. We're showing a video currently on a regular recorded podcast, so you can see what we're talking about a little bit, but it's really cool looking tech. I think curved screens are going to be a big thing during this summer's trade shows. There are a number of manufacturers who are going to try to put out like real curved 4K and 8K television screens in addition to like curved phone products. So I think this is just the way those displays are going.
Remember how they were like trying to push the whole curved television? It was not exactly like the if you ever been to any 3D ride where the screen actually covers you, like a really good IMAX one, but hopefully to replicate that in your home.
There are curved TVs, curved computer screens now. We're getting bendable displays, and that can be cool for some people. Some people it might be gimmicky. I think it's more gimmicky than anything else.
Totally.
I mean, these people need to sell new products. But if I could have a scroll cell phone instead of something, bulky and square, I would try it out.
Would you prefer a scroll or a projecting?
Scroll. Projecting is hard because you have to find a surface to project it on. Unless it's being projected into my eyes, I'd probably go with scroll.
That's the next feature.
That's the next
contacts and such.
Now, speaking of new things in the world of the internet and gaming, we have Facebook. They're going to challenge Twitch. Blizzard and Facebook have announced a partnership to integrate the two different products, Facebook Live into Blizzard games. A Facebook login option is also going to be added very soon for all Blizzard PC titles. Facebook integration should be happening later this month. So Facebook has gotten real big on the streaming stuff recently with Facebook Live, which we're using currently. And now they're trying to add gaming to it as well.
Yeah, it's coming out. It's evolving. My only thing is, especially on a mobile device, you're going to have to start making some room. You're going to have to start losing some apps, getting rid of some space. Hopefully, get a bigger memory card because
I would think the bigger limitation is not necessarily like hard drive space, but rather the streaming capacity of your phone's internet service. Unless you're hooked up to Wi-Fi doing it, it becomes an issue. Regular 4G, 3G stuff is not going to cut it for live broadcast streaming generally.
It's not like you see in the movies and everything. Yes, we have access, but sometimes there are those dead zones. There are those places
in the United States.
I hate those every time. Like especially if you want to watch a video through 4G, even though you're using a lot of your data.
Yep.
I hate the buffering. I hate the waiting. Like you're watching a YouTube video, you only get like a couple seconds. Then it pauses. Even if you try to go back to it, it still has to take a while for it to load again. It's more annoying, but yeah.
I definitely see this being geared more towards PC gaming than like mobile gaming. Although you can do mobile game streaming through like YouTube and then send it to Facebook Live. It's kind of complicated. Twitch is kind of the big boy of game streaming right now, of like people watching you play video games. That's a really big thing, especially with like the teen audience. So hopefully it's going to be something that improves.
I like the only reason I would watch somebody gaming, and this is what I used to watch back in the days, were more for like codes and cheats, because some people would know an area in other. Did you ever look at like GamePro magazines for cheats and codes and stuff like that?
Yeah. I think cheats and codes were very interesting, and you're right in the fact that they've gone from the magazine subscription service to just regular YouTube videos.
Because before it says, oh, go to this area, but you had no idea where it is because all you could go by is just still shots.
But run-throughs are interesting, especially for videos.
Exactly. All right, let's talk Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 12 re-release. Final Fantasy 12 was originally released for the PS2 in 2006. Square Enix has confirmed that this week that they are releasing Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age, the HD version of the game. Besides revamped character models and cutscenes, the game will feature autosave, shorter load times, and the improved turbo mode. The score has been re-recorded, but the Zodiac will also feature the original soundtrack. I'm a music nerd. Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age, is slated for a 2017 release in Japan and the US for the PS4.
Yeah, I'm happy to see that we're also getting it in the United States at the exact same time.
Yeah, I hate that gap.
Yeah, and the same Final Fantasy is coming out for us in Japan this time. I love Final Fantasy 12. It was a very interesting game. It's not my favorite of the series. I kind of geared towards Final Fantasy 10 so far as my favorite. And I'm definitely looking forward to number 15 coming out later this year. But it would be interesting to see what the differences are between the PS2 version and the PS4 version.
Yeah, visually, Final Fantasy series, especially cutscenes, were always beautiful. Gameplay was fun. But yeah, my biggest killer, and it still exists, but it's not as bad, is loading. I always hate it, especially when you're going from one area to another area. You had to wait for that loading time. Sometimes it was like so long, you literally could get up, go make a sandwich, and by the time you come back, you still had enough time to go get a bag of chips and a soda to drink.
Yeah, so that the decreased loading time is definitely a big plus.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of other entertainment video game stuff, we have Sega. Sega has partnered with an Australian company called Zero Latency to create a warehouse-sized VR shooter that people can run around with. The virtual reality center will be created in the middle of Tokyo and will use Zero Latency's top-of-the-line technology. So, have you ever heard of Zero Latency?
Not that specifically, but what was kind of cool about it, it's pretty much your upgraded laser tag. Before where you would have really cheap cardboard cutouts and some boxes you could hide behind it. Now you're literally, it's put in a VR environment, whereas like you are literally walking around in a first-person shooter game environment. It's not just like, oh, I gotta hide behind this box and maybe there's a puff of smoke and some weird light shows and crappy music playing in the background.
Yeah, I don't think you're too far off of saying it's kind of like that same appeal you have with laser tag, except in this case, your entire world is mapped out. It can be anything fantasy, sci-fi, space adventure. We're looking at a video currently of cowboy western zombie killing. And with the hardware backpack on and just the goggles, you have total freedom of movement to run around this big warehouse space. You can play by yourself, or you can play against others, and you might not even know that you're shooting at other people.
And it's just like a version of the holodeck, if you will, which I would love, because I've seen a couple videos of like suspenseful horror games where you look at one way.
Yeah, this is one of those companies that kind of specialize initially for those horror games. If you've seen like a zombie shooter in virtual reality space, this is probably the company that made it.
Oh yeah, and I could totally see a big arena because you need that kind of space. Don't get me wrong, you'll be very limited if you try to recreate the same kind of game environment in your own home, because unless you have an enormous living room or maybe could go outside, just make sure you don't run into any pointy, sharp objects or whatnot.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. That's one of the issues with the virtual reality, like the Vive, someplace you can move around with, is that you have a limited amount of space in your house. And with Oculus, it's a sit-down experience. So, yes, you have the space, but you don't have the same mobile movement capacity in virtual reality. And so I think this might be a new thing.
Yeah,
these kind of places popping up and people, spending extra money outside of their home, having someone else paid for the expensive hardware, and just paying a one-time entrance fee.
One great place that a kid could do it, because they're still around but they're slimming in between, is GameWorks. GameWorks was an awesome place that has that available. They had some, at the time, top of the line of gaming, but the only thing that was kind of like prior, that was before that, what do you call that little pod stand thingy that you literally stand around, is like waist high, then you're like either wearing slippery socks or is like walking around in a giant hamster wheel?
Oh, the zero friction treadmill. Yeah. So that there are those things, and that might be the way to go for the home system, but we don't know. That system itself costs you like an additional $500. So VR is kind of expensive right now.
Exactly. Getting there. Yeah. All right, let's talk some movie / comic book movie? Yes. Cartoon, even? Batman, The Killing Joke, to play in theaters for one night only. Fathom Events is teaming up with Warner Brothers Home Entertainment, Warner Bros. Animation, and DC Entertainment to bring the acclaimed graphic novel turned film Batman, The Killing Joke to select cinemas nationwide for one night only on Monday, July 25th, 2016. The film will make its debut at San Diego Comic-Con on July 21st and be available for digital download July 26th.
Yeah, this is kind of cool to me. I'm looking forward to seeing The Killing Joke. I don't know that I'm going to go do a theater to watch it. I'll have to decide, because the digital download comes out the next day. So it's like, well, do I want to spend extra money and go with friends to the theater to watch this great movie in like 100-degree weather? Or do I just want to hang out my air conditioning house and pay $5 and have everybody come over?
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. There's of course the theater experience. When you're talking theater experience, you're talking the money, you're talking the overpriced concessions and blah blah blah. Or just like you said, you can wait a day. This ain't even though it's gonna be playing at a Comic-Con kind of first. I really, unless the security is ridiculous, but there's always those people that leak at least clips and whatnot on online, unless they have hardcore security.
It's a 2-day. I don't see why anyone would bother trying to sneak in a video camera and possibly getting kicked out of Comic-Con.
Exactly.
And Douglas Freeman in the chat room, Doug Freeman chat room saying, "Yep, another thing to see at San Diego Comic-Con. Yep, another thing we're looking forward to."
Yeah, because I could definitely see that being a panel kind of thing. Like, oh, here's the panel of for The Killing Joke. Have Mark Hamill there, of course. All the rest are strong and all that doing the. It would be awesome, depending, of course, how long the movie is, because, of course, you'll be sitting on your butt for the longest time. Before and after, either bring on the cast before or wait till after, because everybody's going to have questions. I would think before, show the movie and get everybody out, because if not, everybody's going to, ooh, Mark Hamill, other than Star Wars questions, how was it to work again with Tara Strong and blah, 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 and stuff like that. And yeah, it's...
Mark Hamill is going to get a lot of Star Wars questions at the Batman thing.
In Force Awakens at the end, what did you really want to say to? No, that kind of nail.
Yeah, absolutely. Now moving on to our next story, Pacific Rim casting. The Force Awakens and Attack of the Block star John Boyega will lead the cast of Pacific Rim 2. While we don't know much about the film, we do know that Boyega will be playing a lead role, currently unnamed, but definitely the son of Stacker Pentecost, Idris Elba's character from the first film.
Rim jobs. How to put it out there? I liked it. It was just kind of interesting because, especially, God, I can't think of his real name, but the Jax Keller from Sons of Anarchy.
Mm-hmm.
I almost didn't realize it was him until I heard him talk. And it was like, oh, it's the guy from Sons of Anarchy in a weird sci-fi robot-ish kind of thing. Even the whole robot concept of it, I'm like, I wasn't sure if I was watching like a live-action version of either Power Rangers or Godzilla because of the creatures, or a combination of the both.
Yes, it was definitely combo.
It was good. It was good. It was interesting. It was like, something to watch, something different. I'm with my theater experiences, like, I'll give it a chance. I don't already have like expectations. This better live up to my expectations, or else I'm gonna hate this. No. It was good, especially for something brand new to somebody. It was interesting.
Oh no, the kaiju giant robot thing definitely worked for me. I enjoyed the first one. I didn't expect it to be Shakespeare, so I think my expectations were managed, and I got what I paid for, and I'm looking forward to a second one.
For a sequel, I don't know. Do you think it's gonna still stay in that area, or they're gonna?
It's giant robots fighting giant monsters.
But in another,
you can't mess that up too much, I think.
Yeah, that's true. Unless they, go to land, because I think they got close. They got to the pier, but they didn't, go to the desert or anything.
Have them destroy mountain cities. It's all the same fighting to me that I enjoy.
Fuck humans. All right. Let's talk Superman to guest star on CW Supergirl. Executive producer Andrew Kreisberg announced that this week that Superman himself will be introduced in season 2 of Supergirl. Clark Kent / Superman will appear in the first 2 episodes of Supergirl season 2 as the show moves to the CW in the fall.
Yep, this is kind of cool. I like the fact that they're doing something new with Supergirl on the CW. I think that's where I'd hoped it landed initially.
Yeah.
Because they have the other DC characters. They have Green Arrow. They have Flash. Flash has been amazing. So I'm hoping that the producers on the CW have a bigger budget, or at least, lower production costs, that they can add more money to special effects. And the fact that they were able to license, the big name, Superman, Man of Steel, Clark Kent, for this same, franchise, I think that's amazing.
Now, the question, will it be the movie version currently Superman, or will it be a whole different one, just not save some money and let's pay some new guy that looks like him?
No, they're definitely go somewhere new. They can't. I mean, DC has been very vocal about saying they're not mixing television DC and movie DC, which is why you're not seeing the Flash from the television show as the Flash from the movies. So those two streams are crossing, and the Superman before this last one, I forget his name. He's currently on Legends of Tomorrow as the Atom.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, that's a whole different Superman.
This is my theory. They might just snag him and throw him as Superman, and just to save some costs and say, hey, look, this is also Superman, and he just happens to look like somebody you're familiar with.
Yeah, because Henry Cavill, there you go, Mr. Henry Cavill, to have him on the show.
That's Henry Cavill now. Yeah, the guy before that was the one that was before.
Yeah, Man of Steel. Not Man of Steel, but that was the return of Superman. I liked him better in Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
Yes,
he was hilarious. Even though he really didn't speak much, it was more of the other guy kind of like just literally owning him on it. But it was really good. I'm hoping to see more, because they obviously got the whole DC library. I'm waiting for more characters to come out. I like more of the Batman universe kind of thing, but since Gotham right now is on Fox, unless who knows if
they did grab Ra's al Ghul for Arrow, so they might grab some other villains. You're not going to see Bruce Wayne, obviously, because that again it is a Fox show at this point, so they have the television licensing for. But anybody else, who's available.
I like we kind of joked about, the CW becoming the DCW. If they could get Gotham, I can't think of any other DC related show on any other network right now. But yeah, oh man, they would own it all. Because I really, okay, what character right now in the DC universe that animated, comics, whatever, has not been introduced either in television or film that you would like to see?
I'd probably go with Martian Manhunter. He hasn't been shown on television.
Yeah.
Oh,
Supergirl.
Oh, that's right. He is. Well, then he's showing up anyways in Supergirl.
Exactly.
They already have the rights for him.
Okay.
So
My thing, and once again, because I like the Batman universe kind of thing. I like to see some elaborate characters. Then it'd be crazy CG money, in one way or another, I like to see Clayface, but also I like to see Zatanna, the magic chick.
Yeah. Those will all be cool characters, and they're all available in DC. It's just a matter of negotiating, prices for them.
Yeah.
Moving on to some other entertainment news, we have Harry Potter. Harry Potter, the stage show. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child began 2 months of sold-out previews this Tuesday night at London's Palace Theatre, and the reviews are amazing, apparently. No details about the storyline from the play have been leaked yet, however. This may be due to J.K. Rowling's imploring theatergoers to keep the play secrets, quote-unquote. Let audiences enjoy Cursed Child with all the surprises that we built into the story. So basically, she's asking theatergoers, say, don't spoil it for people. Just let them enjoy it.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Absolutely. This is just the preview portion of it, but good things have been said.
I would definitely want to check it out, even though it is a little overnight trip to London. So, take in the Piccadilly Circus, go check out Big Ben, and why not? Let's watch a Harry Potter play. I wonder how long they're going to give it before they work it into theater mode and make it a theatrical thing, because it's just a matter of when. That franchise has made her so much ridiculous money. I don't see why not, because Hollywood can't come up with any original content. So thankful for Miss Rawlings, or else we wouldn't have anything to watch for the past. God, it's been out for too many years.
It's been a real long time, and we're jonesing for our next Harry Potter fix. Now, Marcos Bravios in the chat room asks, how long have we been on? It's been about 20 minutes, buddy.
We plugged you.
You missed our plug
for
your show, man. So you can catch us on the recording version, either on Facebook, on Twitter, or geekbytespodcast.com. You can watch our plug for you, man.
I'll even do it again. A couple of marks. Check them out. There you go.
Moving on to our next entertainment story.
Oh, man. Suicide Squad screening a hit. The Suicide Squad is slated for official release date of August 5th. However, some fans have gotten a chance to see an early screenings of the movie, and they were impressed. Mr. Scott sees Jeffrey Scott says, saw an early screening of Suicide Squad. It blew my mind. Best DC movie I've ever seen.
Absolutely, and plenty of other folks have been saying other things as well. We have Twitter follower Spencer Dennison also said that he just saw Suicide Squad early this week. Mind blown away. So this is encouraging to me. I mean, maybe their plans, but I have high hopes for Suicide Squad. I'm really looking forward to seeing it in August. I know they've done reshoots to make it better.
Yeah, because I'll quote this. After the disappointing reviews of Batman vs. Superman, the producers Suicide Squad have gone as far as reshooting some scenes to make sure that they're as fun as entertainment as the trailers have promised. Because, yes, Batman vs. Superman, I still haven't seen it. I've heard a bunch pros and cons on it, both from celebrities and both from the real folks just like you and me about it. And it's... I don't know how soon it's going to be on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever.
I think it's coming out pretty soon.
Yeah, so I'm gonna check it out. Obviously, I was kind of debating about coughing up the $10-20 to go watch it in the theater, but after hearing that, and yes, the trailers was amazing. Of course, putting in an awesome Queen's.
Now you're speaking for the Suicide Squad, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Trailer's amazing, especially putting in awesome like Queen songs that always just seems to hook everybody into wanting to like sing along with it and along with the blast and everything. But the story wise actually gets my attention because yes, there's a whole legion of Harley Quinn fans want to see Harley, they showed you more Harley, but I also kind of got more interested in the other characters because once I started seeing more of their abilities and whatnot, the only one that I kind of I'm starting to say that I wish they would have cast somebody completely different, that way it wouldn't be a name, is Deadshot. Instead of using Will Smith, somebody completely different, because then that would have kind of grabbed me more, because then I don't want it to be like a Will Smith movie with Harley Quinn in it,
I hear you. I'm really okay with Will Smith. That's what it takes to draw in new people to a comic book movie, because he's a great actor and he does great character acting. I think that's a good thing. So I'm all for Will Smith as that character. It is a departure from the comic book look of the character. Mm-hmm. And some people, of course, complain about that kind of stuff all the time. Me, I'm okay with it.
My other question on it, because obviously they showed it in the trailer, you do see Batman like on top of the Lamborghini thingy. I just don't know if it's going to be semi a la X-Men Apocalypse with Hugh Jackman in it, And will he have any lines or anything, or is just going to be like him going, trying to get the Joker and that kind of deal?
We'll have to wait and see. Now, in the chat room, Mason's Cepeda has a question for us. Says, what do you get when you cross an owl with a bungee cord? And we'll wait for his response at some point in the future. But for now, that is going to be it for our Geek News section.
Yeah. If you like the podcast and want to help support us, you can find all the ways you do so at geekbytespodcast.com/support.
And we're going to move on to, our trailers of the week section. And in our trailers of the week section, folks, we talk about all the best trailers that came out this week. And, of course, remember, you can always watch them at geekbytespodcast.com. This week, we only have one trailer. One, because it was only the good one I saw this week. And two, because we have a lot of
E3 talk.
E3 talk stuff, which we're looking forward to, too, guys. Now, our trailer this week is going to be for...
A little movie.
You might have heard
Kevin
of.
Smith kind of, talked about it once or twice in his podcast. Yoga Hosers. We finally get a trailer for Kevin Smith's second film in his True North trilogy. Lily Rose and Harley Quinn Smith rock the screen in their battle with Bratzies. While there are special screenings of the movie, now you can get the movie digitally July 29th.
Yes, I'm definitely looking forward to this movie. I've been looking forward to it for a long time. I had a small opportunity at some point in the past to go to a screening months and months ago, but the email confirmation went to my trash box, and I regretted it ever since that I never got to see the screening for this film. So I'm definitely going to download it.
I hate you because I would have forced myself to come along with you one way or another.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was
it
a contest,
happens.
And it happens. I know. I understand these films aren't for everybody. Douglas Freeman in our chat room has notated that it got bad reviews for Yoga Hosers, and you know what?
I don't care.
Yeah, so did Tusk.
I think it's, at least for me, fan loyalty. I am a Kevin Smith fan. I'll watch him take a dump, literally on screen or even in person, and enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're a fan of the podcast for covering Kevin Smith stuff, the Smodco Network, you're probably just going to see it just to see the visuals that he and Ralph Garman are talking about for months and months and months. Mm-hmm. So for me as well, I'm a huge fan. I know that this type of movie is just not for everybody, but it is for me. I know it is for me.
It's like, how Trekkies are loyalists to that. Star Wars fans are loyal to their thing. I am a Kevin Smith fan.
Yeah, absolutely. And that humor just works for some people, doesn't work for other people. It works for me. I know it works for you. So maybe you just can watch it together.
See the little costume, though, of him, because I guess the original story is Jason Mewes was supposed to be the little Bratzy character, but he had a claustrophobia kind of thing of getting the plaster mold thing made of him. So Kevin Smith stepped in. He actually shaved the beard off to dress up as get the mold and dress up as the Bratzy.
As a bratwurst Nazi.
Bratwurst Nazi. And it looks hilarious. It looks like it's not a rated R movie, so you're not going to hear any fucks or anything like that kind of thing. It's a PG-13. There is going to be some adult humor, but it's one of those kind of innuendos, He even had a fight with the whole, was it the MCC or something like that?
The people who make ratings.
Yeah, and say, hey man, I know you're seeing my movies, but it's gonna be a rated PG-13. It's pretty much a
it's like a teen movie.
Exactly.
And we in the trailer you get to see a Stanley cameo in it as well.
Stanley cameo. Oh, it's a classic. I don't want to say he did it first, but in Mallrats he did have him in it, and he actually had lines in it. And of course Johnny Depp's in this. He directs Johnny Depp. And I don't know,
in this one and in the last one, I think he did as well for Tusk as well.
Exactly, and it was funny. It was entertaining. I say check it out for the sake of checking it out. Once again, when it comes to reviews, whose opinion matters? Yours. Go watch it. Make it yourself.
Absolutely. Heck, if you want to be one of our Patreon subscribers, we will actually download the movie when it comes out, and we will do a video commentary recording of us watching it live for you guys to watch, or if you guys watch as a Patreon subscriber. So go sign up for our Patreon at patreon.com/geekbytespodcast.com. Now we are going to move on to our next section, which is going to be our discussion section.
Rogue Cop, I think was the Jason Mewes part that he's going to do in Yoga Hosers.
That is the part Jason Mewes is doing in Yoga Hosers. You're absolutely correct. Douglas Freeman does note that Jason Mewes does have a part. It's an odd premise, but he'll check it out. Good job, Doug. Go take a chance. Now, in our discussion section, folks, we talk about all the things that we're interested in that don't fit in our new section. And this week, as promised, we are talking about all the E3 rumors.
That's right. Yeah. Hopefully I don't get shot doing this.
Yeah, E3 starts this Sunday, June 12, 2016. And while the press schedule has been announced, there are very few official details. And much of what we're talking about is completely rumor mongering. And I'm okay with that. So we're going to begin with the first bit that's going to be out on Sunday. Electronic Arts has their show on Sunday, and we're looking forward to some of the things there. We have Mass Effect Andromeda, we have Battlefield 1, and we have hopefully a new Star Wars game. Those are the three that I'm pretty sure we're going to see, because Mass Effect Andromeda, they showed trailers for it last year. It should be out about this year. We should at least see some game footage or some playable game footage. Battlefield 1 has already been announced. There's a trailer out for that as well. And I think it's just time for a new Star Wars game. Yeah, they've had Episode 7 come out. We have Rogue One coming out a little later this year, so it makes sense that there would be...
Battlefront's kind of filling in the gap.
Yeah, another one coming out pretty soon.
So I just don't know what's going to be, if it's going to be another kind of first-person shooter. Hopefully they have like a little story mode kind of thing.
For Star Wars?
For Star Wars.
Okay.
But as for Mass Effect, I blame you in a good way. He actually got me this series, and I did play with it. It did take me a while, though, because it's totally brand new to me.
And what series is that?
The Mass Effect? The first one. Yeah, Mass Effect. So... I can't say I played it from the beginning, like when it came out, but he did give me the first version when it came out, and it was fun. Yes, it's definitely one of those a lot of replay value if you want to change the story. So, it's kind of one of those situations where like, okay, do I save the girl or do I kill the girl? Do I get this? Do I not get this? And of course, depending on what you choose, the story goes abroad. Somebody dies, somebody lives. It'll change the whole outcome of the video game. It was a little long for me because it was literally like, I think two maybe 3 discs. And this was before like PlayStation, where it was like, oh, you got to continue on the story, like Final Fantasy kind of thing. But I liked it. It was different. I wasn't sure what to for not knowing what to do, or at least what I was installed for. It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, those games, the Mass Effect games, are among my favorite sci-fi games. I'm not really into shooters so much, but when you throw in like lasers, for some reason it becomes interesting to me again. And BioWare does an amazing job of creating great stories, but also giving you great replayability by giving you alternate endings or giving you different classes to play around with and to do with. Douglas Freeman in our chat room says Battlefield 1 and hopefully the new Star Wars game are the top of his interest besides COD, Modern Warfare Remaster.
Yeah, the Modern Warfare games are always good. It's continued. Right now, we're kind of watching a little bit of the trailer for the Star Wars game. This is the trailer for a Star Wars expansion for Knights of the Republic. Of course, we're speculating heavily that there is going to be a new Star Wars. It just makes sense. We do know for sure that they're probably going to talk about Mass Effect Andromeda and of course Battlefield 1. But Star Wars game, hopefully, cross our fingers, that's something we see. Yeah, because it's all about hopefully it's not all cutscenes and actual gameplay, because cutscenes are always going to look beautiful, amazing. Wish there were movies, nothing but cutscenes, but it's the gameplay that matters. Because if I just wanted to watch a movie, I'd go watch a movie.
Absolutely. Now, our next group of speculation, the next person on the roster is Bethesda. Bethesda Studios is going to have a post show hosted by Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb, just like Yasher, after Bethesda's E3, spiel. And hopefully we're going to see some stuff from Dishonored 2, Doom DLC, and Fallout 4 DLC, and of course, cross our fingers, Prey 2. That one's heavily speculated. It's been a few years since Prey 2 was announced. Hopefully they're going to actually do something with it.
I just can't miss, like I said, I'm a big fan of G4, miss Sessler and Morgan, especially the X-Play. I want to hear more of Adam's, just Sessler's rants, like his soapbox thing that he does every once in a while online. And Morgan Webb, maybe he should, what new hairstyle she's going to have and, what kind of jokes she'll pop up with. But
the fans want to know, what hairstyle is Morgan Webb doing these days?
Yeah, from the video that we're currently watching, she had this like mom hairstyle with like curls and such.
She did kind of have a bob last year, you're right.
Exactly. But once again, the games look amazing as cutscenes as far as they go, but it's all about the gameplay for me. you can show me the shiniest, most amazing tech savvy kind of thing, but if I'm playing the game and all I'm doing is hitting a wall and kind of sliding, stepping kind of thing, you're losing me. You're losing me bad.
I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you. Gameplay is more important. As far as like me deciding whether I'm going to buy the game, seeing gameplay is more important than just the fancy cutscenes. But these days there's very little difference. Sometimes they use the regular game engine for the cutscenes. An example of like Final Fantasy 15. It's such a fancy game engine. They just made all their cutscenes in it.
Yeah.
But these are some of the things we're looking forward to. I'm looking forward to specifically Dishonored 2. It was a fun first one. I had a steampunk shooter aspect to it. I liked it. And the trailer for, of course, Dishonored 2 looks as good, if not better.
And Fallout's still currently out, so there looks like there's going to be some Fallout downloadable content on there, which there's been, I don't know if you got some couple of videos on it. Once again, you have PS4. I got the Xbox One, so thankfully it's the same game on both the consoles, but just, you might have some exclusives on your side. I might have some exclusives on my side. But the part that I've been noticing is there's a lot of fan-created content, at least for like what is it that you kind of like generate, you customize, you make your own little thing, like when you were playing it, you created some kind of like a grenade launcher kind of thing or whatnot.
Oh no, yeah, Fallout 4 is highly customizable. Your characters get to make weapons, make their own towns, do a bunch of like creative things like custom billboards. They give you a bunch of basic pieces, almost like a Lego set.
Yeah.
Where they give you the pieces and they let you do whatever you want with them.
Better than Minecraft?
To me, I would say it is, but I've never played Minecraft.
That's what the kids are into. They love that Minecraft.
So we're definitely looking for some Fallout 4 DLC after the Bethesda. But we have Morgan Webb, Adam Sessler at Bethesda after their show. Where do you think Kevin Pereira is going to go?
If it's the way they've done it before, he's probably going to be on Xbox, unless they tie him into to PlayStation.
But last year he was at Nintendo.
Oh, that's right. We're in the Nintendo Game Championship thing that we saw. That was it last year?
That was last year.
Oh yeah,
it was it was like the Mario Maker plus like a Nintendo Game Championship.
Oh yeah, it maybe they'll do it again.
I think it's so interesting that their names are still synonymous with video game hosting, even years and years and years after D4 has closed its doors officially. That those three names can still get work in the video game industry doing E3 and like Comic-Con.
Because they do what they love and they love what they do.
Absolutely. Now onto some Microsoft stuff. Yay, Microsoft. Microsoft, we have some weird rumors coming out.
Now, this is all the rumors, all the things that you think might be happening.
Yes. We have rumors of a slimmer Xbox One that's going to be premiered, and also possibly a new console for 2017, codenamed Scorpio. And in addition to that, we're hearing rumors on the internet, of course, that Microsoft is going to make every Windows 10 computer compatible with an Xbox One to either stream content or to play actual Xbox One games. Now, that again, total speculation. Any of those sound interesting to you so far?
There is actually some facts. The fact for at least for the Windows 10 Xbox One thing, it can't hurt coming out with the slimmer. They've done it with the 360. I gave in and I got the slimmer version. They've done it for PS2, PS3. They slimmed them down, which, especially for a console that's just going to literally lay on your table, counter, entertainment center, whatnot, floor, depending on how your living situation is, you don't necessarily have to make it lighter and more aerodynamic just to have it there.
No, it's just a way to sell consoles again. And Microsoft is really behind the PS4. So Sony is dominating the console market at this point. And maybe this will be the thing that helps boost Xbox One sales. Doug Freeman in the chat room says Sessler has clout. Yes, Douglas, he does indeed have clout. He kind of is a big name in the video game review industry.
Yep.
He actually, I believe he advises for several different video games, including one about a Friday the 13th multiplayer game that's still in development, where you either play as one of the people that Freddy chases down and kills, or you're playing as one of those people who's trying to survive. And the point of the game is that either you kill everyone as Freddy, or you have to work together with other people to accomplish goals and escape from Freddy. From Jason, from Friday the 13th. So he does have a big name in games.
Okay, Doug has some talk about the Elite controller. Cross-platform, I'm quoting him, cross-platform is happening. I believe that. I think that the Elite that came out was just worth it for the Elite controller. A cheaper, slimmer one would sell faster and better.
Yes, Doug Freeman is absolutely correct. The Xbox Elite controller is super expensive, but if you're a hardcore gamer, it is worth it for you.
I wasn't a hardcore gamer.
I can't say for sure that cross-platforming is going to happen. There
is one game.
There are rumors that Sony and Microsoft might be working on it, but again, I don't think it's in their best interest to actually do it.
It's all about the
money, of course. But he is correct. Also, the slimmer version of the Xbox One is going to be slightly faster. It is going to be able to handle, I believe, like 4K resolution. So that might push out more sales.
So if you got a 4K TV, you're good.
Yep, you're solid.
So they're continuing on because there's actually more. Do you want me to read it?
Oh no, we have video games, of course. We have video game rumors or things: Gears of War 4, Halo Wars, Forza, Crackdown 3. These are some of the things that, as far as video games, we're expecting to see from E3 from Microsoft. Any of those games interesting to you?
Gears of War. It's all. Visually, they all look great. They've had a beta for it, and it's pretty much. I don't know if it's out now. I know the beta obviously has been out, has been played. So that if you haven't taken advantage of the beta, you're missing out. Anything that's a beta, even if it's you're literally being the guinea pig for it, try it out because you can wait until the final version comes out and everything. But
kind of depends. My experience with betas have always been. I lose interest in a video game if I'm playing the beta because it's an unpolished, unfinished version of it where you see a lot of bugs. And whenever I played betas for games, I'm just less likely to play the final version. One, because I've kind of been spoiled on what's happening, and I already have a slightly bad impression of the game because it was unpolished and it just wasn't. It was buggy still.
But that's the pro and con of it because you're the guinea pig. They'll figure out when it's like, okay, so this part sucks. We're not going to do that, or we need to improve on this, or like, hey, everybody loves this. We're going to keep this in or make it even better.
Yeah, it just can depend what you want to do.
And what?
Yeah, so again, betas are great. I'm looking forward to the Halo Wars. I think that always is an interesting franchise of multiplayer version of Halo and that type of stuff. That looks kind of cool to me. But for me personally, the stuff I'm looking forward to for Microsoft is going to be virtual reality and augmented reality. That's stuff for Microsoft and, of course, Oculus.
It got teased last E3, and it was like I was waiting all year, like, when's it coming out? When's it coming out? When's it coming out? Hopefully, this year.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the exciting thing from Microsoft, from my point of view. They've had HoloLens out. You've seen plenty of commercials and YouTube videos about how cool it can be, but there hasn't been any one particular game that kind of pushes it over the edge or any kind of official commercial product yet. However, Oculus has come out already. It is in the market commercially, and I'm curious to see how they're going to integrate that into the Xbox One platform.
Yeah, well, I feel like it's going to be like, especially if you want to be involved into the environment and don't want to light up your big ass TV or even your little ass TV, slap on the headgear, enjoy the gaming yourself in your own comfort of your own couch. I kind of would rather do that instead of having to deal with I don't know if you ever we've had the gaming issues either if you're watching a movie or a video game, you're into it and somebody just happens to get up and walk in front of you. That's a little pet peeve for me, but to strap on a headpiece to avoid that from happening.
Might be a thing. Now, in the chat room, Mason Sabetta says he also does not like betas. I'm with you, man. And Doug Freeman has asked a question: what VR goggles are the top of our list? He wants a Vive, but he might consider the Oculus. Me personally, I want to support the underdog Oculus, even though they have Facebook money. To me, they still seem like an indie company, and I'm looking forward to supporting them. If I had the money, I would get both the Vive and the Oculus Rift and every other VR thing out in the world, including like those zero friction like treadmills where you can walk and kind of slip around. I would get all the stuff if I have infinite money. Unfortunately, I don't have a computer to run VR stuff currently. I'm saving up my money to purchase the heavy hardware, like several $1,000s hopefully. And at that point, hopefully we'll have a better feel of like what system is going to nom. Because right now the Vive is definitely a leader because they have their motion controllers and they have their room tracking system. But Oculus is not that far behind. They're just waiting on their approval from the FCC, from the government. They said that they can put out their hand controls, and then they're going to be about the same space. And I'm not sure which is going to have better control systems and better games. I think on the game side, Oculus is winning. They just have more content. They've had longer for developers to make stuff for them. So it's, but for me, I think Oculus is a little bit above.
I got Google Cardboard.
Yeah. Gear VR is cool too. I have one of those.
It was fun for a couple bucks and whatnot. Somewhat of an experience for it. It's pretty much like the poor man's VR headset, but it literally is
it gives you a thing. I think Gear VR might be the most consumer friendly just because you put in your phone and it just starts. There are no cords to worry about. You don't necessarily have to have weird equipment on your hand, and I think it's the most user friendly of all the systems, and it's definitely the cheapest.
Yeah.
To our next one, Sony. Is that right?
No, Ubisoft.
Ubisoft. Sorry, folks. Ubisoft is going to be next on the schedule. Great game company. Love their stuff. Things we're hoping to see at E3 from them: Watchdog, Ghost Recon Wildlands, and South Park.
Okay. We watched the new Watchdogs trailer for Watchdogs 2. Oh my God, it looks so good. There's some scenes where even the camera work and everything moved. I swear I thought I was watching a motion picture for a second. I was like, oh man, it's going to be a really good movie. What? It's a video game. It just looks real good. If you play Watch Dogs 1, it's really good. It's a Watch Dogs 2 is very like hacker-ish. If you ever watched the movie Hackers, kind of thing where they kind of like get into the networks. They've done everything from tinker down projections, hacking news organizations. So while there's a new live news feed or whatever, they hack the screen. They hack the buildings where they do a projection of their their version of Anonymous, if you will, but it's like a skull face kind of character. But it's cool. It's cool. I haven't played the first one. I did see the trailer for that. It didn't grab enough for my attention, but this trailer alone was like, wow.
And the trailers for that game always look spectacular. The first Watchdog trailer made you think you're going to do a lot more stuff than you actually did in the video game. That's, again, the downside of amazing trailers, that they raise expectations so high that sometimes they're not able to fill up, not able to live up to those expectations. I think the Watchdog trailer, Watchdog has had that kind of pass, unfortunately. Hopefully, Watchdog 2 does all the things it kind of promises in these trailers, but if not, if it's a good game, it'll hopefully make enough money to make Watch Dogs 3. The trailer for Ghost Recon Wildlands, it looks interesting. A lot of this is not from just cinematic trailer stuff. A lot of things in the trailer are from in-game rendering. So if it looks as pretty as we're actually playing it, I might be interested for a rental. I'm probably not going to buy it. I'm not that big in indie shooters personally, but Watchdog is more something along my space. And Doug Freeman in the chat room is saying he heard that South Park is going to have superhero stuff in it.
Hopefully, because right now I'm actually currently playing the South Park Stick of Truth. I'm usually the guy that's late on the bandwagon. Plus, I didn't want to cough up like $60 for a game that I paid only $10.
Buy it on special.
Exactly. Take advantage of those sales, kids. The Stick of Truth, really good. It's very simple. It's like you're playing the cartoon show because the animation is practically the same and everything is set up. It's almost like a RPG kind of style kind of game for at least the battle portion of it. As for the superhero version, I don't know what's gonna go because I played the other older South Park games and it was kind of like so on it. It was
there's very much like the old South Park television shows. Like as time goes on, they get more money. The video games get better, and the television show gets better. The South Park game coming out, it looks okay. South Park is not really my thing in general, but I can appreciate that it's different and that it's a little edgier. And
I love their play on words.
I love the fact that somebody has the cojones to make that kind of game and go against the ESRB and
totally.
And do that.
I love rated M games, not just for the content and just for the language. Like the superhero game that you're talking right now, it's called South Park: The Fractured But Whole. It's love
There's
the play on words.
Our South Park humor. Now, Garrett Edward Spears in the chat room. He asked what our thoughts are on the upcoming Marvel Netflix series of Blade, Moon Knight, and Ghost Rider.
Right now, it's all just talks. Right now, it's just talks. Nothing set in stone. There's even the guy that plays Mr. Darryl on the Walking Dead series about him possibly even being Ghost Rider in one of the the Netflix shows. Once again, nothing set in stone right now. This is all just rumors going by. I personally, if he was in shape and he's still in his prime, I would love to see Wesley Snipes still be Blade.
I'm all for as many Netflix Marvel shows as possible, as long as they're done well. So far, their track record has been spot on. Jessica Jones and Daredevil season 1 and 2 have been just amazing. I love the freedom that Netflix allows its creatives in making the shows that they want to make. So I would give them the benefit out that a Blade show, a Moon Knight, or a Ghost Rider show would be good.
And of course, those fans that are trying to get Miss Agent Carter onto Netflix, trying to save Miss Carter, put her on Netflix.
One of my favorite Marvel shows is, of course, Agent Carter. She got canceled this year. I signed the petition to get her to Netflix.
Yeah, I haven't, just because I just didn't kind of care. Like, I liked it, but I felt that if there was more comic book influences of other characters in it, even for that era, it would have grabbed my attention more, because that's what I'm into.
And Garrett Eric Spears in the chat room says, Wesley will always be Blade to him. And I hear you, man.
Same to hear, man, Wesley.
Now, moving on to the Sony press release for their game section. Some of the things that we're hoping to see from Sony this year at E3 are the video game Horizon. Now, that one has been confirmed as being moved into 2017 for release, unfortunately. That's that, it looks like Caveman, a robotic dinosaur fighting game.
The trailer was interesting, but good.
Yeah, it reminds me very much of like cavemen fighting Transformers, like Dinobots.
Pretty much, you know.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking when I see that trailer. Also, Detroit, God of War 4, Final Fantasy 12 remake. We talked about that already. Final Fantasy 15. I'm hoping to see more of that video game. It comes out in September, I believe. I've already pre-ordered it for the PlayStation 4. I'm hoping to see more gameplay footage from Sony from them, and also the PS4.5 Neo. There are rumors that PlayStation is coming out with a newer version of the PlayStation, not quite PlayStation 5, just an enhanced version of 4 with better, able to handle 4K resolution, better processors, that kind of stuff. And I'm also looking forward to PlayStation VR.
They pretty much put little flame stickers on the side to make it look go faster. But games on here, God of War 4. God of War series has been amazing. Even in the version that they came out for the Vita, it was a fun game. They eventually crossed it over to put it onto the PS3. The God of War was always good. It wasn't just gory. It had a great story to it. The effects on it, the gameplay was amazing. They even had a off-screen simulated sex scene with the right combination. It was pretty much like if you were working the clit and nipples at the same time.
Yeah, very much very on the edge of what you could do on a Sony console.
Oh yeah. But overall, fun game. And there was also rumors of that series becoming a movie, and hopefully that does, because
I actually love the YouTube fan stuff for God of War. That's always interesting to see people's takes on that story. There are several like fan-made films for God of War, and they're pretty cool.
Yeah, Greek mythology, you kind of almost can't go wrong.
Yeah. It definitely has a Greek tragedy storyline, and I think that's one of the great. In addition to it, just well done, smooth action fighting.
Okay, since you're more of a fan of the VR world, would you pay or upgrade or trade in or whatever to get the Neo?
It kind of depends on what the price is, and if this is what I think Sony's going to do. They're going to announce the PlayStation Neo 4.5 and bundle it with PlayStation VR.
Yes, that's
that's what I see them doing.
That happening.
To promote sales for both of them, in addition to catching in the headset plus the Wii remote things. Maybe might come out with the new remote things for the hand tracking for PlayStation VR, but that's what I see them doing E3 for this kind of hardware announcement.
What I would like to see, just that way, nobody just loses out on dumping their systems, even though people do that to upgrade for the new one, is since you do have that part where you can actually remove to upgrade the hard drive, why not have another upgrade plug-in? Kind of like the way that the Sega Genesis had that Sega CD thing, or the Sega Turbo 360 or whatever that you inserted onto the old kind of console thing. Do the same thing. Why not? It's like when you buy a computer,
it's harder to do with like processing chips.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, so that's the downside of modern equipment. You just have to wait for it to go, and it's hard to upgrade console chipsets or memory and hardware. So that's the downside. Now, Garrett Edward Spears in the chat room is saying, commenting that the latest Mortal Kombat is great, and Kratos as a special character was amazing. He's a very fun character to Garrett. He hopes that Pinhead makes it to the next Mortal Kombat update, and he asks us what fictional horror movie character should be seen in the game. I think he's saying
for the well, if you played Mortal Kombat X and Mortal Kombat XL, they've been increasing, especially when they first came out, when they announced like Freddy Krueger being a playable character. I was like, what? I'm like, how they get the licensing, because it's all about licensing, because you have like, thankfully it's made up character. It wasn't like you're having the legit actor in it, so it'd be a different story. I kind of wish he was actually voiced by the actor. I kind of drawing a blank of his name is like Rob something. Freddy Krueger.
You mean for Jason or for Freddy?
For Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund. There you go, Robert Englund. If it was voiced by Robert Englund, it would be great, because of course compared to like the Chainsaw Massacre and excuse me, Leatherface, and of course Michael Myers, they didn't really have voices other than.
So, what horror movie character would you like to see in Mortal Kombat?
Okay, horror movie. The tranny from Sleepaway Camp.
There you go, Garrett. He thinks you should see the tranny from Sleepaway Camp. I would like to see Chucky. I think Chucky would be a great.
How that passed
great in. He's definitely murderous. It'd be fun to see a little small dog killing everybody with some signature moves. I mean, and he could literally, cut off parts of them, throw them at other characters, come back from the dead. Maybe he has a Bride of Chucky special move, something like
a combo attack where she comes out too. And
yeah. I think those would be some great moves for that kind of franchise.
Yeah. So that I totally agree with you on that part.
Absolutely. Now, the last thing actually second last, we have Nintendo. Nintendo is coming up as well. Nintendo, I think Treehouse. The Treehouse Live event. The only things we've really heard from Nintendo about new things they're going to do is a new Zelda game, with potentially a new console system. Those are the rumors that we've heard from Nintendo. Not much else besides that. I'm always hoping for a new Kirby game, but that's me.
Kirby was fun. They did that whole yarn series. They even did it with Yoshi, which, it was cute. It was, gimmicky but cute. My thing is, of course, Mario games would always be amazing. Even with, I was like, to the point that you literally gave the power to the fans of like, hey, you create your own Mario game. Here's Mario Maker. Why do we got to put out something? You do it.
Mario Maker, I think it's a good way of getting fans invested back into the Mario franchise and having them be creators in addition to being consumers.
My thing is with Nintendo, which I wished, because they got the license, unless they give it up, hopefully, or whatever, they would work a deal out, is Mega Man games. Love Mega Man games. Of course, there's Mighty 9 coming out for the other consoles.
So that's what I was going to say, too.
But I would love to see I was a big fan, of course, of the classic Mega Man series. Loved the Mega Man X series. I just wanted to see it evolve. Just, if you got a great license for a great character, great everything, why not keep going at it? Like, you can't go wrong with Mario. Can't go wrong with the Legend of Zelda series. Metroid was pretty good too. There's so many out there, especially Nintendo titles that you just kind of grew up with. The biggest thing that obviously. The big one, if not two games that that always explode is, of course, the Brawl games, the Nintendo Super Smash Brawl games, and of course along with the Mario games, Mario Kart games. Mario Kart 8 was pretty good. They pretty much literally you now fly upside down. You're flying. Where else are you gonna go? Well,
absolutely. So I mean, Nintendo's always gonna have a good fan base. They're coming out with Nintendo Pokemon Go. I'm not sure if they own that license for that intellectual property or not, but you can see the Pokemon game on Nintendo as well. I'm really hoping for a new system, though. The Wii was amazing. Wii U, people expect it to be something different, but sales kind of tanked. And so I'm hoping that Nintendo just learns from the mistake and it comes up with something new that people can buy.
Almost overthought of it. Another big franchise that obviously been around and didn't even really mention it is Pokemon. Pokemon's a great thing. I'm not sure of. Remember we kind of talked about it. I kind of wish Nintendo would just have an app so they can have all their licensed games on like mobile devices.
Yeah, they're starting them. They started out with the Mii's, You can get that on your mobile device, and they're planning to expand, I believe, into Mario next.
Yeah, I just want them to come because I know there's little hacks that you could do, and of course emulators and whatnot. But just have a legit Nintendo version.
There we go. Hopefully, we're going to see an official mobile-supported Nintendo platform.
In a controller. Oh my god, that'd be
Maybe
so fun.
besides the the 3DS. Yeah. So those are predictions for Nintendo. The last thing, this is just a trailer that happened to drop this week. It was for Injustice 2. The trailer was great. I liked seeing all the different Marvel characters. I thought that giving them these different outfits was a little more toy enhancing. Like they have different outfits, so you could have different toys, variant toys that you could buy. But hey, if that's going to make your story interesting, I always like the story behind the Injustice Gods Among Us franchise. It's like the parallel universe of the DC, and where everybody's evil or everybody can kill each other. And like Superman had Lois Lane murdered by the Joker, and so he murdered her and turned to the dark side. I always thought that storyline was very interesting, and I'm happy to see another DC fighting game.
I like the concept because I did play Gods Among Us, and especially if you play the story mode. Yes, you're still the basic fighting game, but the way you beat your characters, it would continue on the story, and it actually had some great cutscenes in it. And it's all about the marketing, and of course they did a great sales with the video games because for toys, I mean, as soon as the game came out, everybody's like, "Oh, I want that figure!" And I'm like, "Here you go. Here's Batman, and here's Batman with Batman
they
armor."
saw those toy sales, yeah.
Yeah, and the kind of thing also, especially visually, they almost got the movie version and the of course whatever version on it. It's still blonde-haired Aquaman from what I'm seeing on the trailer, so it's not the Samoan dude that's going to be coming out in the movie for the Justice League.
He might be like a new DLC character pack later
or
on.
alternative skin kind of thing. So, but it looks good visually. It looks